advise me on who to appoint to the Parliamentary Service Board. We need to inaugurate the board. We also need to activate the friendship associations. Members have to join parliamentary friendship associations. We are having invitations from many parliaments all over the world for our members to visit them or for them to receive members come from those parliaments. Yeah, we don't have those associations in place. Please kindly work on these matters as quickly as possible for them to put this in place. We have a lot of new members who want to experience this other area of our legislation. So work on them. Time is of essence. We are also expecting, before the end of the month, the SONA, State of Nations Address. And by the early weeks of March, then we have the budget. We need to have these committees in place. We need to do some orientation, particularly as we have so many new members. These are all in the hands of you leaders. I'm waiting as the chair of the Committee on Selection to do all this, integrate the structures, and then we can move on as a house. I will advise that to really get the participation of members and also public, we need public participation in whatever we do. My proposal has always been that we should start sitting from 2. Members have opposed it, but this proposal was made even from the first Parliament of the 4th Republic. That has been the proposal because of good reason. But at that time, it came from the wrong person. And so the members opposed it because the person who proposed it was a very active legal practitioner. And they said he wanted that time to always go to court. And so they will not support him to do that. So it was rejected. But as we moved along, experience has shown that yes, members have a lot of things, and particularly now that you have a lot of pressure from your constituents, you have to attend to them almost every morning. You have to run to emergencies. You have to go around looking for jobs. You have to go around looking for visas. You have to do so many things. So in the morning, it's always crowded. Then you have traffic. The fuel that you are giving is not sufficient. You have to look for more money to buy more fuel. And that is a tall order for you to be present here and be doing all those things. Then you have the committee sittings. You can't sit, get tired, and go back and do committee work. So you try to sit in the morning to do committee work. The house is empty. The public is crying. They are attacking you. And yet they are calling you to many activities. And they want you to be at those activities and also be present in Parliament. You know, it's impossible. So why not agree for us to sit in the afternoon and sit even up to 8? Then we can get the public participating at the gallery. And we can see senior citizens then relaxing and watching you on their TVs. Because we are doing live broadcast. It will assist me to manage you. Because your paramount chiefs will be watching you. Your in-laws will be watching you. Your children will be watching you. And when you start misbehaving, you go home, your son will ask you, but Daddy, why did you do that on the floor? We need that. We need the feedback. Please, it's not every parliament that sits from 10. Many parliaments now have moved to the evening so that they can get other people to participate, particularly this lawmaking, where you need the public servants to appear before the committees, to lead the committees with technical inputs for us to pass quality laws. So when you go to implement them, you will not have the same technical people now having challenge with the implementation of the law. By the time that you are meeting,
Honorable members' prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, with your indulgence, we will skip item 2. We also don't have any message from the presidency, and no formal communication from the speaker has come to us. So please, let's turn to item 5. Item 5, correction of votes and proceedings and that of the official report. We will begin with votes and proceedings, and we'll start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Yes, member.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I was actually present yesterday, but I've been captured as one of the members who were absent. And so if that can be corrected. Item number 4, that's page 7. 4-8.
Yes.
Hassan Yendi.
Okay, table. Incidentally, I've also been marked absent. look at item 9.
Mine is 8. Yeah.
Yes, 9.
Okay.
I have also been marked absent. So kindly take note of it. So we turn to page 8. Page 9. Page number 10. Yes, Honorable Member for Afajato.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity. And with your leave, may I invite you to page 10, item 9, Roman number 1.
In the records. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I know the official report will capture verbatim, yes. The Hansard will capture all. But this is a summary of the high point. And since there was a member coming under Order 93, a statement, and the directive of the Speaker, I consider it as an important matter, which will find expression in even the summary, that is the vote. The directive of the Speaker should find expression here.
Well, I think the minister himself is here, but conferring from my advisors, I'm told it wasn't an express directive. It was more or less an advice that the minister should address some of these things, but it's not an express directive that the minister. That is the advice my clerk is giving me. So the express advice. Official report. And I believe, Minority Whip, I believe it's part of the reason why the minister is here. I think he will address it.
I am not litigating on this matter. Everybody knows in this house I'm a man of peace. Point. And since there was a member coming under Order 93, a statement, and the directive of the Speaker, I consider it as an important matter, which will find expression in even the summary, that is the vote. The directive of the Speaker should find expression here.
Well, I think the minister himself is here, but conferring from my advisors, I'm told it wasn't an express directive. It was more or less an advice that the minister should address some of these things, but it's not an express directive that the minister. That is the advice my clerk is giving me. So the express advice, the advice will actually will be captured by the official report. And I believe, Minority Whip, I believe it's part of the reason why the minister is here. I think he will address it.
I am not litigating on this matter. Everybody knows in this house I'm a man of peace. I'm only Speaker, I'm only drawing the attention of the House that even if it was an advice, Speaker, I won't push this further. Even if it was an advice, the Speaker's advice should find expression in the votes and proceedings. That is a word from the Speaker. The Speaker's advice should find expression in the votes. If it is the case that the House wants it to be discounted, that's fine. But the Speaker's advice, the Speaker's advice.
Yeah, let me hear your colleague, Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the Chief Whip is right for raising the issue. But if you read the last line, let me quote Mr. Speaker. He called on the ministry to reconsider the decision in order not to undermine the authority of Parliament. So it's in the form of an advice. Mr. Speaker is not directing the ministry to do A, B, C, D, but he brought it to his attention that to reconsider the area decision taken by the ministry. So at least the issue has been mentioned here, and the verbatim of what Mr. Speaker said will be captured in the official report for the Hansard. So I think everything is captured here. I don't think we should belabor this point.
Hey. Speaker.
Almost Deputy Minister.
Speaker.
My friend from Sisara, please, don't begin anything that will degenerate the House into. Yes.
Speaker, what my colleague said, you see, that concluding statement is not in reference to the Speaker. It is in reference to the member who moved the motion. So I'm not litigating, but I'm just saying that what is the practice? The Speaker's counsel will be ignored by the votes. You are saying that it wasn't an expressive directive, but it was the Speaker's counsel. I think you should find expression.
Very well. So, Table, just take note of it. Yes, Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. As of how members of this House and the public view my good friend, the Minority Chief Whip, whether a man of peace or a man of other things, I'll leave that one to the public. But Mr. Speaker, yesterday, when my good friend, the member who raised the issue, got up, and Mr. Speaker gave him the opportunity to explain the thing, the first thing I did was to commend him and say that, yes, the point he's raised was legitimate. However, Mr. Speaker, there was a reason for the suspension at this stage, because he just brought it saying that he was bringing something to the attention of the House. I left it there. It was the Minority Chief Whip who thought there was more meat on this and started adding all other angles. Mr. Speaker, what he did yesterday was actually misleading. In fact, you misled Mr. Speaker. And when I tried to say that what we are doing at the ministry is to resolve an internal issue within the law, you disagreed.
Honorable Minister, I wish we can revisit this issue after going through the votes and proceedings. So let's finish the votes and proceedings.
Okay.
I'll give you the time.
Speaker, I wouldn't even come back. I just to conclude that what the ministry did was actually in compliance with a directive from the Labour Commission when the staff of the ministry took the matter for arbitration. So the ministry is not in breach of any law. Rather, we are complying with a directive which says, henceforth, cease with the implementation for now and resolve the issue. So there's nothing more for me to report to the House until we actually complete the process of arbitration with the agency. So I will urge him, stop bringing this matter up. There's nothing in it for you to gain. There's nothing in it for you to gain. I have the ruling of the Labour Commission here, but I decided not to make an official statement.
Honourable Minister, is this House that passed the law? And sitting here, I could recount the contribution you yourself made to that particular bill. So if the bill has been passed into law and a private entity just went to court with a view that probably the implementation is coming across, so I don't think the House will be obliged just to take a directive from a private entity. Oh yes, it's an entity so far as the House is concerned. So I think let's resolve this issue without. I would have wished we don't bring in this matter. Yesterday, the Speaker said, let's look at it. I mean, let's consider in that way than to say that it's based on the Labour Commission directives. I don't think it will sit well with the House that the Labour Commission is actually directing us that don't implement that particular idea.
Just for clarification, when a portion of a law which borders on employment of Ghanaian workers raises concerns, and this group of workers did the right thing by going to Labour Commission, not a private entity, and this House created Labour Commission and gave them a mandate to resolve issues like this, and Labour Commission says your case is right, rather than ruling, I'm directing the ministry to go with you to resolve the issue. How can that be interpreted as Labour Commission trying to usurp the powers of this House? Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ. I think Labour Commission is within their right to try as a way of resolving the issue peacefully, direct that the ministry sit down with the aggrieved parties to resolve the issue. Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that is exactly what we are going to do and report back to the House.
Well. I'll come back.
Mr. Speaker, I think that we must understand the architecture of governance. If this House passes a bill which becomes an act of parliament, very often we will have transitional provisions. So first we have to look at the transitional provisions and find out what does the transitional provision say, because we are seeking to merge institutions, create an authority. So I expect that in the transitional provisions, we would have provided a roadmap towards the implementation of the legislation. Secondly, if an institution of state has issues with the implementation of the Act and takes some measure, it is not for this House to resolve that conflict. This House is not in a position to resolve conflicts. A member of parliament can ask a question, and the minister can come and answer the question. You can make a statement, and the minister will comment on the statement, this House will comment on the statement. Once it is a law, then it is left to individuals to go to court to seek mandatory orders for the implementation of the provisions of the law. So we cannot turn this institution or this parliament into an institution that seeks to enforce the law by itself. We cannot do that. So if you ask a question, the minister will come and answer the question. If you individually feel there's an issue, you go to court and you try and enforce the provisions of the law because it is now a law. If the transitional provision provide a roadmap, we can question the minister as to whether or not the roadmap is being properly followed. I think that is how it should be. We shouldn't turn it into a banter in this chamber.
Well, yes.
Speaker, I'm just a bit surprised my colleague, my friend's statement on whether there is something in there to exploit. It's far from that. It's far from that. Yesterday, he himself was here when the Speaker cancelled him. I have no interest in this subject matter. Kwame, I have the greatest respect to you. I have no interest in it. What is there that I'm going to gain from? Nothing. We just thought that your statement was unfortunate, and the Speaker has cancelled. We are correcting votes. I am not raising statement. I am not coming under Order 93.1. No, it's votes. And I'm saying that to the extent that the council came from the chair, the Speaker, it should find expression in the vote. If I say this, where have I gone wrong? For you to say that there is nothing in there for me to exploit, what am I exploiting? I think that was an unfortunate statement coming from you. I won't do that to you. I will never do anything to you. And you are getting a bit personal about this matter. Kwame, it's not about you. It's about the separation of powers. We cannot pass a law and you will decide when to implement it or not to implement. And the Speaker has said that if you have difficulty, come back to the House. It's as simple as that.
Well.
Yes.
Well.
Well, You are being too sensitive to this matter. I will never harm you.
Well, honorable members, let's turn to page 11. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sorry to take us back. Page 7. I remember yesterday, 4:15, yesterday, Honorable Dakun, Honorable Kobe Ochre Dakun, well, respectfully was in the house. He's marked absent. No, yesterday he was here.
Is he your friend?
Oh, yes. But Lord, we are neighbors. We are neighbors. He's from Takrade, I'm from Kwesiminti. We are neighbors, so I should
Okay.
know.
Okay, table, that is right. Yesterday he was here, so kindly take note of it. Yes, honorable member for Kwadaso.
Honorable Speaker, on page 11, number 3, Ernest Broja Gemfi. His Gemfi is Genfi. Ernest Broja Gemfi, not Gemfi. Genfi. Then if you come to Roman numeral II, the Right Honorable Speaker read a communication from His Excellency, the President, dated Sunday, 10 February 2025. If you go to the preceding page, under item 9, communication from the President, Sunday is captured as 9 February. So, and I think that Sunday was 9. So the table office should take note of page 11, Roman numeral II, it should be Sunday, 9 February.
Not 10.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member for Kwadaso. Yes, Afajetu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, yet again. Still page 11. I'm a bit surprised Prof hasn't seen this anyway. Number 2, the list of deputy ministerial or deputy ministers designate. The name of Honorable Ebenezer Telabi. The Ebenezer has been wrongly spelled. Please take note. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Table, can they take note of it? Let's turn to page 12. Yes, member for Offensive North.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Page 12, item number 10, the time of adjournment. And at 20 minutes after 12 noon, I believe we started after 12 noon, so we couldn't have adjourned yesterday's proceedings at 12 noon, so if it can be corrected. It was after 5 p.m.
Yes, honorable member for Kwadaso.
Honorable Speaker, on same page 12, the second paragraph, 4th line, governments of the African Union from 16th to 17th February. But if you go to page 9, the statement that was made by Honorable Zuwera, the same duration for the 38th ordinary session of African heads of state and government is captured 15th to 16th of February. Now you come to page 12, the 16th to 17th. If you go to the official website of the AU, it's supposed to be 15th to 16th. So I suggest that we amend the 16th to 17th as captured on page number 12. Thank you.
So, honorable member, are you talking about the president?
If you permit me, the communication further indicated that His Excellency the President will also participate in the 38th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and government of the African Union from 16th to 17th. But I'm saying that the duration is 15th to 16th. So I'm surprised that he is going to be there till 17th, the same program.
Yes, Honorable Member, I am told that the President is actually going there on the 16th. Probably the session will actually start on the 15th, but the President will be there on the 16th and return on the 17th. So we are capturing what the President message.
Yeah, then we need to get the right rendition. If it's going there on the 16th and coming back on the 17th, it must be clearly stated. Because I'm saying that if you go to the website, if you go to the website of AU for this particular program, it is 15 to 16. So if he's staying a day beyond, we need to be clear on that. Thank you.
Honorable, what I'm saying, fine. The website might capture 16th to 17th. But the President, in his own wisdom, is going there on the 16th. So we can't begrudge him. Probably the 15th is the welcoming session, those kind of things. So he might not take part. So actually, probably will take part from the actual business. Yes. Is it the same issue? Very well. So, Honorable Member, let's take the last page. 14, page 14. Yes, Honorable Kwadaso, a member for Kwadaso.
Page 13, rather.
Is it 13?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Item 1, opening. The committee met on Friday, 7 February 2025 at 10:25 a.m. And if you go to page 14, the meeting closed at 11:09 p.m. This is strange. So we need to check the time of the meeting, when it started and when it ended. I'm suspecting that the meeting ended at 11:09 a.m., not p.m. Otherwise, they spend the whole 12 hours there. Thank you.
Honorable Member, I'm told it's correct because of the scaffolds that took place on that very day. So from the table, they captured it right.
Mr. Speaker, please indulge me. This was a meeting to consider modalities for considering the nominees of the President for minister and deputy ministers. So how can it be? How can it go beyond that? This is completely impossible. Please, the committee met on Friday, 7 February 2025 at 10:25 a.m. and held discussion on modalities for the consideration of His Excellency the President nominees for ministerial and deputy ministerial appointment. And there was conflict there.
Honorable Member, I'm advised by the table that it is correct. So let's take it like that.
I'm gathered. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of 11 February 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable Members, we have 3 official reports to consider, and please check on your so you can take the official reports from So, honorable members, I'm told the first one, which is 21st January 2025, is loaded in the system. So we take the first one, which is Tuesday, 21st January 2025. It's loaded in the system. So, honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 21st January 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Please, let's take the Tuesday, 28 January 2025 report. That one is also loaded in the system. Tuesday, 28 January 2025 official report is loaded in the system. Very well. So in the absence of any corrections, the official report of Tuesday, 28 January 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. The last one is 29th January 2025. 29th January, that is Wednesday, 29th January 2025, official report. That one is also loaded in the system. Takwa, do you want to? Okay. Very well. In the absence of any corrections, the official report of Wednesday, the 29th January 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Yes, Deputy Minority Chief Whip, give me a second. Honorable members, we have in our midst at the Speaker's Gallery our colleagues, a research staff from the Parliament of Uganda. They are here to undertake studies in our parliament here. They were here from Monday and they will leave on Friday. So they are here to also witness how our proceedings are undertaken. So that much I do. I will mention their names, and they are being led by Mr. Kasim Iwanika. Mr. Kasim Iwanika is a research officer. Please, are you cheering them up? Yes. The second person is Mr. Julius Mulungoti. He's also a research officer. Yes. And the last person is Ms. Nora Namayanja. Did I pronounce it well? Yes. Very well. So the fourth person is Mr. Innocent Nyamuyunga. Is that right? The fifth person is Mr. Julius Odon. And the last person is Mr. Daniel Imasit. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. I understand you are already feeling Ghanaian hospitality. Feel at home and take the good name of Ghana back to Uganda. We've been there a couple of years back. We were there to also study how Uganda Parliament is. So you are welcome once again. Okay. Yes, now let me come to you, Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 93-1, fortified by Order 67, with your leave, Mr. Speaker, to bring a matter of urgent public importance. Mr. Speaker, Ghana, we have been noted for the democracy that we have been enjoying. And, Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the former minister responsible for finance, Mr. Kenneth Furiata's house was raided, and he, by a national security operative, allegedly. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Kenneth Furiata had officially written to the Chief of Staff that he will not be in the country, and he was given that permission, and then he left. It is not acceptable. 2 weeks ago, the former defense minister, Nitiwil, was stopped, and then his car was chased to Parliament to be seized. Mr. Speaker, this is not the democracy that we are all enjoying, and for former ministers' houses to be raided, I think the national security minister needs to come around to be able to explain. Government must stop the raiding of the houses of the former appointees. Mr. Speaker, this your voice will not stop me from making my point. It will not stop me, Mr. Speaker. It is completely unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary, and national security must brief this house, and government must brief us as to why they are aware that Mr. Kenneth Furiata is not in the country. We have officially written to them, and they still raid his house. It is not acceptable, and this is the clear behavior of our colleagues, that they don't want to listen, they don't want to protect our democracy. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm bringing this to your notice and the notice of the House. That what is going on is completely unnecessary. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, you have to give an order directing that everything that he has said should be expunged from the records of the House. First and foremost, because, Mr. Speaker, there's standing order under which he comes says, and I read, by the indulgence of the House and leave of the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, who has indulged him to say all the things that he has said? Mr. Speaker, you haven't even granted leave. When did the Speaker grant leave? When did the Speaker didn't grant? We're all sitting here. The Speaker has not granted leave. The House has not indulged you. Then you go on such a mission. Mr. Speaker, let's respect the rules of this House. We are not in a jungle. This is a parliament. This is a parliament. Mr. Speaker, there is a limit to what we should tolerate in this House. We must be decent when it comes to our rules. The rules allow you to make such a statement, but the rules gives you conditions. It says the indulgence of the House or the leave of the Speaker. You haven't sought the indulgence of the House, you haven't obtained the leave of the Speaker, and then you just go on a mission of saying what you want to say. And you are a senior member of the House. So, Mr. Speaker, I insist that everything that he has said should be expunged from the records. And until he has obtained your leave and the indulgence of the House, I don't think that it should stand as part of the records of this House. The matter that he wants to discuss, I have no personal issue whatsoever.
I am a human rights activist. If any human being's rights have been violated in this country, I'll be one of the first to stand up for that person. But there are rules. Let's respect the rules. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have to expunge the statement from the records.
Yes, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, minority leader, let me listen to you.
We must be tolerant to hear ourselves. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader was heard in silence, and he's raised an important issue. And that important issue he has raised, it is important that we all comment on so that the chair can be guided. Mr. Speaker, to enable you grant leave, you must know the matter to be raised. To enable you grant leave, you must know the matter in issue. What the member has just done, honorable respected colleague Kwame Agboja, you know you and I come a long way. So, we come a long way. Just, Mr. Speaker, I am happy to learn from the majority leader. And the jurisprudence of this House would always guide me. And I will not allow my ego to stand in my way when I have to even say sorry. This is a learning chamber. Mr. Speaker, it is my contention that the prayer of the respected majority leader is not well grounded in law and even in our procedure. The applicant need your leave, and rightly so. But to seek your leave, he must lay a foundation. You, as the chair, must know the grounds upon which he mounts his application. What he simply said was that a respected member of the political class of this country, of which you and I are members of that class, had his house raided by agents of the state. And, Mr. Speaker, all he is seeking to do is to draw your attention that... Leader, let me finish. Leader, I listen to you quietly.
Just tolerate me. I'll come back to you. Leader.
I'm still on. He have not been called. Leader, you've not been called.
I mean,
leader, you've not been called.
You are a leader, he's also a leader. Let him finish. I'll give you the opportunity.
Leader, you've not been called. Let me finish.
Leader, I listened to you. You made a fantastic aim. Let him listen to him. I'll give you the opportunity again to speak. Please.
So, Mr. Speaker,
I'll give you the opportunity to speak.
The application was to seek your leave. And in seeking your leave, he needs to make known to you the exact matter.
I'll come to you. You allow. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I will yield.
Yes.
I will yield.
Mr. Speaker, some of us have been in this chamber for close to 2 decades.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, you should not use subtle means to have recorded what you want to say that we are objecting to. And that is exactly what he's doing, that I want to caution him. You can argue the legal points, but keep the facts out of the matter. If there's a ruling on the legal issues, then you can introduce the facts on the floor.
Well. Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it appears that this side of the House is now made up of the notorious reckless hecklers. Mr. Speaker, now we've seen the notorious reckless hecklers who have not gotten Mr. President's attention. But it's okay. The House has noticed you. And this is where we get all the empty seats. There are legal issues. This is important for learning. So pay attention. Your leader has raised an important legal issue. So pay attention. This is the time for you to learn. This is the time for you to learn. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Majority Leader was right in saying that I need to argue the legal grounds without necessarily going into the facts. No, I mean your backbenchers, not you. You are a leader. You are not. You are not. You are not part. I'm saying you are not. Oh. Mr. Speaker, you see their behavior. When we do it to them, they will be crying. We can do it if we listen to your leader. If you don't want us to talk, you see. We also have a backbench. Misbehave. Misbehave. Mr. Speaker. Ayarga.
Honorable members.
Ayarga.
Honorable members.
Ayarga. You need to talk to your people. Ayarga. Ayarga. You need to talk to your people. You need to talk to your people.
Please.
We will not allow them to do this. Indeed. You guys are very intolerant. You are not serious. Oh,
Honorable members, please. Honorable Chapel, please. Honorable members, please, if even you have an issue, please allow the chair to call you. We need to have a very... Why? Honorable members, Dr. Sandari, sit down, please. Sit down. Doc, sit down.
Speaker, I'm not notorious. Everybody knows I'm a gentleman.
Honorable members, please, let us be tolerant a bit. Please. Doc, I haven't called you. Sit down. Please, let's allow the minority leader have his bite. I'll give you the opportunity to speak. Please. Yes, minority leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, it is the case of the applicant in the matter before us, Honorable Habib Idrisu, MP for Tolon, and the First Deputy Minority Whip. His application seeking your leave is on a matter of national importance. Mr. Speaker, to enable him mount the application, he laid a foundation by giving you the background to the matter upon which he seeks your leave. Mr. Speaker, the rule is that you cannot place something on nothing. There is no way you'll be well disposed to grant him leave unless at least you know the facts upon which he mounts his application. Mr. Speaker, and what is his application? His application is to the effect that grant him leave to raise this issue that occurred yesterday. And what is the issue? The issue is that state security operatives have raided the residence of Mr. Ken Oforiatta, a former envoy and a former finance minister who is out of the jurisdiction, and he actually sought the leave of the chief of staff. Mr. Speaker, this country's democracy has well advanced. We cannot do this to ourselves as a political class. We cannot target each other only after elections. So, Mr. Speaker, so all he's trying to say is that grant him leave to proceed to raise this matter. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that my respected colleague makes a point that he's a human rights activist and he would not in any way be against this matter being raised on the floor. So, Mr. Speaker, if it is his contention that the leave must be sought by at least giving you the headline, then after that he raises the matter properly, I agree, Mr. Speaker, and that's, I always see him with the standing orders. I've read the rule, statement by a member, by the indulgence of the House and the leave of Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance. So, Mr. Speaker, he is right. The honorable member did not err. He only laid the foundation. He is now bringing the matter to the fore for all of us to have a bite. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow a change in political power to lead to violence in the country. We cannot allow a situation where when there's a change in government, political opponents will be blackmailed. Mr. Speaker, that is all his point. So grant him the leave for him to proceed. At least sufficient foundation has been laid.
And Minority Leader, I think we need to help the House with regards to Standing Orders 93-1. Is it the case that if a member would like to raise an issue, the member may consider it as urgent? Does he has to seek, when you say by the leave of the Speaker, does it mean the person should have already discussed with the Speaker? I want us to, because it is something that is actually emerging, and we have to actually lay this fairly to the understanding of all of us, so that going forward we will know how to work. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Order 93-1 cannot be read in isolation. Mr. Speaker, go to Order 93-2. 93-2. Mr. Speaker, Order 93, Order 93-1, Order 93-1, Mr. Speaker, Order 93-1 says, by the indulgence of the House and leave of the Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance at the time appointed for statements under Order 67. Mr. Speaker, this is the first time a statement is mentioned in that order. That's the first time statement. So, what does the proposed statement refer to? Where else is a mention made of a statement? It is a statement in Order 93-1, because that's the first time there is mention of a statement. So that statement, and Mr. Speaker, I have been in this House, and each time that you have a matter of urgent public importance that you intend to make a statement of, you go and see the Speaker and intimate to the Speaker that there's this matter of urgent public importance and you intend to make a statement on that matter. I have done it several times. And each time the Speaker will then say, go ahead, I will admit it. Then you rise up and pursuant to that order, you make the statement. Ideally, the statement should be in writing. But sometimes the matter is so urgent, you haven't written it down, but you go and confer with the Speaker. And then when the Speaker sees the urgency of the matter, the Speaker is convinced that it's a matter of urgent public importance, then he will give you leave. When you rise up, he will say, I gave this person leave. I gave this person leave to make a statement of urgent public importance or a matter that is personal to that person. That is how we have handled it in the past. So please, you can't just ambush the Speaker while he's sitting in the chair and then start narrating any wild story and say that you are laying the foundation. Meanwhile, that matter has become records of this House. That's why I insist, Mr. Speaker, that you must order that whatever they have said in relation to the subject matter is expunged from the records. Because they have no leave to make those statements. They have no leave to allow those matters to be captured in the records of the House. If you grant it, they can make the statement. If they make the statement, we'll all comment. We'll all comment on it. I am ready to comment on that statement.
Well. So, let me.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
honourable members, please, I'm allowing this because we are all
necessarily have to come by way of statements. Mr. Speaker, the matter that we are talking about is a matter of urgent public nature. And it's a personal nature that we can relate to. Mr. Speaker, everyone knows in this country what happened yesterday. Mr. Speaker, that raided the residence of the former Minister of Finance, and it's of a public nature. Today, the office of the Special Prosecutor also granted a press conference and addressed the same matter. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to discuss this matter in any event, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in any event, the leave of the Speaker, the leave can be expressed or implied. And I take it that by the fact that you have granted the member for Tolong and Deputy Majority Chief Whip the opportunity to proceed, that means that you have impliedly granted him leave.
No, that is. I don't think that.
Mr. Speaker, that is the issue. So by implication, you have granted him leave. So the matter before this House is why the former Minister for Finance's home was raided. Any of us can be a victim to this situation. And we need to discuss it and put it on record. Thank you very much.
There's no doubt about that event. But me, I want the House to be clear with Order 93-1. That is my position.
Mr. Speaker,
that is my position. That's where I
made
want
the
us to discuss.
application.
Give me
Mr.
this
Speaker,
discussion.
I made the application, and let me clarify. Mr. Speaker, to clarify this application, even yesterday, similar application was made when the Speaker was presiding. It was yesterday. Under the same, he made the application. Honorable Nyaku made the application when the Speaker was presiding on the road toll matter under Order 93-1. The Speaker, you were here. The road minister was here yesterday, and then the Speaker granted that leave. Mr. Speaker, I seek your leave in my introduction. Mr. Speaker, with your leave. And which leave? Parliament, we are governed by the Constitution, our standing order, and our practices. And yesterday, the same standing order 93-1 was raised, and the Speaker granted it. And he raised a matter about the road toll that we were correcting on the vote and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, I am completely in place. I am not out of order. The majority leader ought to understand how I came by my application, to the effect that it's a matter of urgent public importance. And Mr. Speaker, if I don't lay the how will you know the matter is urgent?
No.
I need to lay the foundation.
You need to lay the foundation.
Then I come to Mr. Speaker granted the same thing, and today we are not granting it. I don't think so, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, you see, I just want the House to be very, very clear on this matter. Because Order 93, by the indulgence of the House, when you say by the indulgence of the House, it means at least both sides, the leadership, one, must be in agreement. Two, by the leave of the Speaker, it means at least the Speaker should be in the known. So I think you are aware of it. You see, honourable members, the exercise you are doing is good for nobody should take it. It's good for the House. We have to get our way clear on this.
Mr. Speaker, in all sincerity, a WhatsApp message. No, in all sincerity. No, I'm coming. We relate at that level. He signaled me that I should check my phone, and then when I checked, there was a message from him that he intends to raise the issue of the matter that they want to raise the issue of. And I said I didn't know anything about it. I told him that I didn't know anything about it. Then he sent me photographs and video. And whilst I was looking at the photographs and the video, then the Deputy Chief Whip was already on his feet making the statement. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that he wants to raise the statement, but I haven't given indication whether I accept or I haven't accepted. Mr. Speaker, I have been house. I noticed that on countless occasions this morning, our respected colleagues opposite got the mic and started speaking without your authority. As leaders are supposed to guide you. The last statement made by the Deputy Whip on the minority side, you did not give him the opportunity. Imagine if everybody started putting on their mics and speaking. Second, Mr. Speaker, let me remind him, nobody made any statement about road toll here yesterday. Go and check your own record. So your statement about road toll, you got it from, because nobody made any statement. Mr. Speaker, whilst the respected leader was speaking, out of nowhere, he got up and mentioned my name, you, Kwame, and whatever. Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage you to caution him. Speaker, if the issue, and Mr. Speaker, you're going to allow me, I think it's a very important statement made by my colleague. I will seek your indulgence at the right time to explain to you how in 2017 the whole of Adaklu Kodiabe was raided by national security because I come from Adaklu Kodiabe. The whole town was raided by
Honorable Minister, please don't take us back.
I can even give you the name of the national security operative, Mr. Apia, caused Adaklu Kodiabe to be raided 2017. The whole town on lockdown because I'm a member of parliament for Adaklu from Kodiabe. I'll at the right time seek your indulgence to bring to you. So if today an individual, Ken Oforiatta, is raided, consider that versus the whole of Adaklu Kodiabe raided. Is the law only good when it comes to your side, Mr. Speaker? Raiding whether Ken Oforiatta or that Adaklu Kodiabe illegally is wrong. But let them know that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, now my ruling. Yes, okay, you speak then now. Hold on. Yes, Nana, my ears out.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker,
sit down.
Mr. Speaker, we appreciate the fact that the interpretation of the standing orders lies in your bosom. We accordingly are grateful for the opportunity to contribute.
Sit down.
To contribute.
Sit down, you can't be standing like that.
We are accordingly.
When you start speaking, you are already up.
We are accordingly grateful. We are accordingly grateful that we are accordingly grateful.
Honorable Andrew, please take your seat. You take your seat. Honorable Andrew, please take your seat.
We are accordingly grateful. We are accordingly grateful that Mr. Speaker is indulging our opinion before you give a ruling on this matter. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, with the standing orders, there is one fact to it, which is that where timing is of essence, it says so. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, there are times when the standing orders require that prior notice is given. And where prior notice is not required, it's also stated. Mr. Speaker, in the specific matter of Order 93-1, Mr. Speaker would realize that it's an exceptional circumstance. It's an exceptional circumstance because, Mr. Speaker, it talks about the procedure for dealing with statements in the House. But when it comes to 93, it is a matter of notwithstanding 91 and 92. So, Mr. Speaker, 91 expressly states the procedure for adopting or dealing with statements in this House by the Speaker. 92 deals with ceremonial speeches. And then when you come to 93, it talks about by the indulgence of the House and the leader of the Speaker. In other words, with leave of the Speaker. In other words, notwithstanding the provisions of 91 and 92, Mr. Speaker, by the indulgence of the House and the leave of the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal urgent situations. In urgent situations, Mr. Speaker, that of the House, very respectfully, were to hold sway, it will mean that, Mr. Speaker, urgent matters cannot be dealt with unless we can get the attention of the leadership of the House. Mr. Speaker, in the circumstance of this matter, this is a matter which has just come to our attention. That is the matter of the raiding of the house of Mr. Ken Oforiatta. Mr. Speaker, what time are we going to get to confer with the leadership of the majority? Mr. Speaker, how do we deal with urgent matters in the circumstance? Mr. Speaker, we are saying that. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, if this interpretation were to be adopted, it would defeat the purpose of Order 93.1. Mr. Speaker, if the thinking of the framers of the law were that there should be prior agreement between leadership and prior leave of the Speaker, that would mean that, Mr. Speaker, the word prior would have been put there. There's nothing like that, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I'll take the last one from Honorable James Agaga.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the matter that has caught our attention is what meaning we ought to place on Order 93. To do that, Mr. Speaker, I want to make it clear that we must read Article 93 as a whole to be able to construe its import. Now, the majority leader started off by making it very clear that the practice of the House in relation to statements of this nature that the Deputy Minority Whip attempted to make is that you'd engage with leadership and hold some prior consultation with Mr. Speaker. And when Mr. Speaker grants you leave, at that point, you can rise, and when Mr. Speaker allows you to make your statement, you proceed to make it. Now, Mr. Speaker, what is of particular importance is that my understanding of Order 93 as a whole, when read, is that the statement, no matter how urgent it is, must even be scripted. It must be scripted. And let me demonstrate that in a moment. Let me demonstrate that in a moment, Mr. Speaker. Let me read. 93 says, one says, by the indulgence. Mr. Speaker, do I have the floor? By the indulgence of the House and leave of the Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature, and here the matter the Minority Whip attempted to make is not of a personal nature, or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance. I think the matter is settled. It is of public urgent importance. Then 2 says, reads as follows: the proposed statement shall be admitted by the Speaker. Now 3, the text of the statement as admitted shall be read when a member is called upon to make the statement. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that please. Mr. Speaker, wait for him. Mr. Speaker, 3 talks about text. Well, let me read the 4. 4 says what? A statement other than a personal statement may be commented upon by other members for a limited duration of time, not exceeding 1 hour. This is about commentary. But, Mr. Speaker, the 3 says the text, it talks about text, which means the statement must even be scripted. When the Minority Deputy Whip stood up to make that statement, he was not reading from a script. So it is the script which is admitted by Mr. Speaker, which can only be read and commented upon. So let us not misconstrue the meaning of urgent public importance to mean that anybody can get up and take the House by surprise and push the House with a statement.
Well, Honorable members, this is my ruling. This is my ruling. And I think the ruling should guide the House going forward for the good of all of us. Henceforth, I'm coming. You please allow me. Henceforth, any matter relating to Article Stand Orders 93, please, if you are a member, please discuss it with your leadership so that the leadership will also share with the other side. I don't think it's in that is difficult. Then you should also share whatever you want to do with the presiding officer or the speaker, so that it will go with the standing order 93. So with this, hello, honorable members, with this, now I've taken judicial notice of the leave the member is trying to seek from the chair. The leave is granted now. But meanwhile, what he has already said to be expunged from what I'm saying is what he has already said. I will order that.
We are not indulging them. We are not indulging them to make this statement. We are not.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, thank you for granting. Mr. Speaker, thank you for granting my leave to make this.
where some people will use some shouting and all that to sway the chair. Mr. Speaker, the precedents of this House, I remember in the matter of the vacant seats, Arthur Forson, minority leader as he then was, raised the matter. There was nothing scripted. He raised it because it was to him it was a matter of national importance. Mr. Speaker, indulged him. We debated. He, the majority leader himself, then contributed to the matter and did say that in fact the matter was of urgent national importance. Mr. Speaker, if today they want us to go into a certain arena of jurisprudence, I don't have a problem. Mr. Speaker, bullying is part of the game, but they should know that when it gets to them, they will also take it. Because they are smiling, I see them, they think that they are trying to sway you. Mr. Speaker, let us be careful the path we want to chart. I don't have a problem. In this game, you lose some, you gain some. I don't have a problem. But they should know that if today you now say that, with the leave of Speaker, when Mr. Speaker grants him leave, the man is about to read his statement, then you get up again, challenging Mr. Speaker, and then you want to arrest Mr. Speaker's ruling, then you now argue that with the indulgence. What is the meaning of indulgence? Does that mean that prior approval of members? What is indulgence? Look, Mr. Speaker, let Honorable Ayelga, the Harvard scholar, Mr. Speaker, this man is a Harvard scholar. He shouldn't introduce anything that will create problem for this House. What is indulgence? Is it now saying that indulgence means that if the other side of the House says they won't accept, you can't read? Mr. Speaker, be firm. You've granted him leave. You've said that the earlier submissions be expunged. We are not challenging you. Our friends must be tolerant. This is democracy. You are in majority, fine. But let us do the right thing. Let's do the right thing. Mr. Speaker, you've made your ruling. Your ruling stands. If he wants to challenge it, he should file an application. He should file an application. The majority leader cannot introduce his own form of jurisprudence to confuse this House. That is not the rule. That is not the law. And that is not the practice. Mr. Speaker, you've ruled, allow Honorable Habib Idris to proceed.
Leader, Habib, hold on. I will come to you. Hold on. Let me give the majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I am not challenging your decision. Your decision is to the effect that by Standing Order 93-1, by standing... Mr. Speaker, I am not challenging your ruling. Your ruling is to the effect that for a statement of urgent public importance to be made, there is a need for both sides of the House to have conferred and agreed. You said that. And then you also indicated that in future they should submit a copy or at least make known to the Speaker or the person presiding the content of the statement. So I'm simply pursuing your ruling to say that we have not yet indulged him. Because you are saying that there should be indulgence by both sides. I'm saying that we have not indulged him. Mr. Speaker, let me say that. You see, let's go back to the interpretation section. Let's go back to the interpretation section of the Standing Order. Order 6, which deals with the question of leave of the House. Page 5, leave of the House. Okay? Mr. Speaker, leave of the House. Listen to what it says. Or any expression of similar import leave of the house or any expression of similar import. Leave of the house or any expression of similar import means permission or consent given by the house. So to say that the word